Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Rapid Chats with Angus. So another week flown by. Another Rapid Championship match was played between the Springboks and the All Blacks at Ellis Park. Everyone expected the Boks to win by far, as it did in Nelspruit, but unfortunately the All Blacks turns up on the day and they just upset the apple cart. I'm not alone tonight, as I usually am. I am going to be joined by another fellow journalist, Lorenzo Daris, Group FM presenter. So I'm just going to get him into this mix, and once he is online, we can have a fat chat on everything rugby. So if you have any questions regarding the rugby this past weekend or anything going forward, feel free to ask it. We will try to. There's Lorenzo on as well.
How's that, guys?
Oh, there we go. I think you should flip your phone, eh?
Should I? Would it be like this?
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
That's
so how you doing, man? Good to see you again.
I've been good, brother. I've been good. I've been busy. It's not easy giving the sports every single day. So lots to prep, lots to read up on. Always getting either Ben Smith and then some Jonathan McQueen on the side. Yeah, your favorite. So I try to, get info from all of them and see how things are going. Lots to talk about that happened this weekend, though.
Yeah, geez. I mean, I went up for the match and it was absolutely late. You don't get me wrong, but I think a winning result would have made it 10 times better. I had a blast, though. It was amazing. But, regarding that match, I mean, we went into this match as hard favorites. That's not always often you get the Springbok All Blacks test match wherever you play and you go in as a favorite. I mean, especially after a 16-point beating week before in Nelspruit, and then you play at your fortress. And
yeah,
that's another thing I want to touch on. I mean, is Ellis Park really still the fortress? I mean, I think the All Blacks are off and off at winning test matches there now, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's something like 6 out of 14, like something like that. So it's not a bad record, to be honest. I mean, it's not Eden Park where they beat everybody. That's not the point I want to make. I mean, we went into this match as hard favorites, and first thing I want to discuss is the selection. I mean, we had a guy like Malcolm Marx the week before, dominated every breakdown, collision, carry, you name it.
Yeah.
And obviously, Bongi was going to be the guy starting, which we have no issue with because we know they work as a unit, the scrum units. I mean, Bongi scrums better with, say, a France and an Ox, for instance, or whoever. But, you got a guy like Joseph Weber, who's an amazing player, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, he comes from, see you freezing a bit there. So wait till your connection reappears again.
Yeah, seems I'm having a bit of a connection issue. A lot of people don't know this, but I stay next to Newlands. So the connection issue is because, they don't know how to make up their minds if they want to keep the stadium or not. I got some of what you said. I got some of what you said. Firstly, I want to start off with this. We as Springbok supporters, we tend to blindly support our coaching staff. And we know that with Rassie always coming out and saying, we've got a plan, people. We've got a plan. The same way he tells Oom Skalkburger when he had a bit too much to dop and he starts tweeting about things. Oom, we take all your things into consideration, Oom, and, believe in us. All right, but let's not delve away from what we want to say. So what happened was that Malcolm Marx should have started once we had confirmation that Bongi Mbonambi got injured in training. There were just not enough days for him to go for a scan and then for them to determine, will you be ready? Remember, our team comes out on a Tuesday. They've got one session on a Wednesday. They usually give the players off on a Thursday with a captain's run on a Friday. So there was just not enough time to be able to determine the extent of the injury, right? But because we are blind followers, we believe there's always a plan. And there was a plan that Bongi would start. Malcolm would be on the bench. Malcolm started the week before for his 50th. Bongi was on the bench. But now you're bringing in someone like Joseph Dweba, who only played 2 test matches before this. Wales and...
I think he only won one of those 2, by the way.
Yeah. So he started 2. And I had blind faith in the team, thinking that he's been part of the team for such a long time. He knows what his job is. And it comes back to what Coach Ninaber says, is that each player has a job. he has something that he needs to do. If it's for 20 minutes, if it's for 30 minutes, if it's for the first half or 60 minutes. The selection didn't work. He should not have started him. Malcolm could have played a 70-minute game. We haven't seen it in a long time, but we know he can. Lions, he did it quite well. Super Rugby did it. Come on, went to Japan. Yeah, a little bit different with the small men in Japan, but come on, he's played 70 minutes before. Dwayne Vermeulen, need to go into this one. I'm sorry, but Dwayne needs to sit down. He's had an injury. He was just not match fit. The only time I heard about Dwayne was on the kickoff. They were like, early touch for the big man that's back. Never heard him. Never heard again. Didn't see him. Couldn't feel the impact. What was he doing on the field? We have Evan Roos there. We have Jasper. Why are we not playing Evan Roos? He is the URC player of the year. He's been with the team. He's learned from the team. Perfect to bring him on for 50 minutes if Jasper is not the player he was 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, giving penalties away all the time. Unfortunate with the one. Unfortunate when he did not hear the whistle. Very unfortunate. But if you compare that to the last year and a half when Jasper was giving away silly penalties, two totally different people. He's someone that we can rely on. He has shown we can rely on him. Why are we starting Evan? Why are we starting Dwayne? Ridiculous to have started him immediately. He needs to sit down. He needs to help the other players. He is not the player he was, and maybe he will be. He could have been if we brought him for one game against Australia, then played him against Argentina. But why are we not giving Evan a chance? And now it's come out that he's also been dropped. This was the perfect opportunity to take someone like him with. No offense to Cannon Moody, who is 19, who got brought into the team. But Evan's been there. Why are we not utilizing? We all talk a big game about bringing in new blood, but when we have them and we see the potential in them, I just do not understand what our coaches are thinking at the moment. I don't.
So, Lorenzo, would you say that's arrogance on the Springbok side? I'm saying arrogance because I'm going to take you back to 2019.
Yeah.
All Blacks, favorites to go triple crown, 3 times in a row. Why not? They come up against England, right? They select no Ben Smith, the one they actually like.
Yeah.
They don't select a lot of stalwarts that got them there in the first place. Yeah. They go with an inexperienced winger, George Bridge, Xavier Rees, guys who hasn't been in those pressure situations like the 2015 lot. And it backfired totally. I think we haven't learned from bringing Elton Jantjies in as a starter first up. We haven't learned from that. Same with Dwayne Vermeulen, Joseph Weber. It's not the player's fault. It's a system fault at the moment. And unfortunately, I think that it was totally arrogance. We thought, we're the world champions. We can pick any guy, they'll do the job. Yeah. Maybe so on a good day. You can maybe get away with it against Scotland or Japan or maybe against even Argentina, with all due respect. But you're not going to get that sort of arrogance and say, you know what, let's get a third choice hooker in. They can play against the All Blacks today. Why not?
All right.
I think that is just showing disrespect.
Yeah.
And when they did it, I didn't see you. I didn't hear it the first day, but I could see it's not Kapo or Pango. Those guys came and said, you know what, sorry for the word. They said, listen, fuck you. We're here to actually beat you guys today.
Yeah.
And fair play to them. I think that we should really look at the system and say, you know what, we should really give this guy a shot. Because you mentioned Eva now. He topped the stats in URC, best player. And even before halftime, when they subbed in the Bloom game, he had the top carries, he had all the top stats in his name as well. So I don't see why, they bring in a guy like Dwayne and not integrating from the bench, start Jasper. I'm not saying playing Evan against the All Blacks, not at all.
Yeah.
But just the normal it should be. If Bongi got injured in training, you let Malcolm start, you bring, what's his name, Joseph on the bench.
Yeah.
Simple stuff. Same story for Jasper. Why drop him for a guy that just came from injury?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Pure.
A couple of years ago, the last time we beat the All Blacks at Ellis Park, Dwayne played with a broken leg, but that was almost 10 years ago now. So, you can't expect the same sort of effort and result from the same guy. Yes, he's great. He's been amazing for the team, and all due respect to him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for selection, it just doesn't make any sense.
Sorry, I'm just gonna turn this around quickly. Let me just check it out now.
Okay, no problem.
All right, let's start it. Let's go. Arrogance is the word. We also there is something about players that have been in the team for so long, get injured, and tend to walk back into the team immediately. It's
exactly what
happened a few times. It happened a few times, and it has backfired. Now let's go 2019, right? What they did not do was they did not blood those young players to be able to handle those type of matches, right? And we are doing exactly the same. My problem that I have is, come next year, come the World Cup, and you have Evan on the bench and for a game in the group stages, and you bring him on, and you, God forsake that we do not get the All Blacks, or we don't get a England or Ireland. I didn't go through the full permutations as yet. And these guys have not.
It's either All Blacks or France.
These All Blacks have not been ready, or these guys have not been ready to play them, and then they get thrown in at the deep end in crucial matches. Whereas we should be doing what we've done before, what Rassie did in 2018. We should be playing these guys against them and finding ways to play them and get them match ready, match fit. BMT needs to be there. Yeah. When you play your All Blacks, this is the level of intensity. So now we need to take it back a few years back, and I'm unlike you, I'm not the encyclopedia that can pull it on dates. But Jean de Villiers was either captain or he was on the verge of scoring a hat trick, and we had played the All Blacks. What we needed was, we needed 4 more tries, but we were bad through that whole season. And what happens is that when we play the All Blacks, the intensity is a lot higher. It's when you are up against your arch rival. When you're up against your arch rival, you could have lost every single game. But as soon as you play against the person, and I don't like using this word, the person you hate, and we have this love-hate relationship with the All Blacks. When we have that happening, we are a different team. And this is what happened with the All Blacks. The All Blacks' back has been against the wall for the last 2 weeks. They got murdered by their media. They got murdered by their countrymen, right? And what they needed to do was to prove a point. The only way to prove a point is to beat the world champions. The psychological aspect that they had was a lot better. First 20 minutes, they had ball possession, inside, short passes, played exactly the same game plan we played at Mbombela. And what happened? We didn't know what. We were like, whoa, what's going on? Why are they playing our game plan? Then, I also want to say that it is arrogance that we have to have one person get injured, and we need to then change 3 players' positions. Why?
Lorenzo, look, honestly, when JC went off, I didn't even see it watching it live, but when JC went off, the logical thing at that point to do was to put Billy on the wing.
There you go.
Billy started his career with the Springboks
on the wing. Before number 14.
So why would you do this? Why would you take the fullback, put him at inside center? Take the outside center, who's probably the best in his position in the world. They had a blind offer match, put him on the wing. Right? You reject the whole back line, and then obviously because of the system and the communication, you are going to have lapses in defense. Because the system isn't working as it's supposed to, where it could have just been, say, this one piece of the puzzle out and a similar piece. It might not fit in as it probably should have, but you won't put the whole damn puzzle in the scramble. You know what I mean? And that doesn't make any sense.
When you hear in World Rugby, you have 14 players on the one team, and they still have an overlap on you. That's communication. That's mismanagement. On a whole different level. How is it that we had...
I mean, the team was good against Ulster in the semi-final.
It does not sit with me. I understand everyone has a plan, but this is why I feel the All Blacks did not win this game. We lost it. And there's a difference. And I want to explain to you. There's a difference. The All Blacks might have had the first 20 minutes to show us what we needed to do. As soon as the rotational changes got into place, we saw what we can do. And we started playing with intensity. But because of miscommunication, we lost this game. And I don't know, anyone that's listening at the moment, if you feel that it's not the way you saw it, then get back and let us know. But I feel that we lost the game. I just don't like the fact that we had one positional change due to injury, forced by injury, where we had to have players move to the wing and not taking anything away from Lucanio. Best stats ever that I've seen. World Rugby Player of the Year. If it's not given to Lucanio, then I don't know who else deserves it, because there's no one else that comes close.
I agree with that, honestly.
Yeah. Also, extra bonus point for you tonight. I don't usually do this, Angus, but I think
I just missed my bonus point now with the stream. I'll just wait when you come back again. But while he's reconnecting, just the thoughts on those replacements. Oh, you're back now.
Yeah.
What's the bonus point, Lorenzo?
Damien de Linde needs to be dropped. Yeah.
Because of that performance?
Because of not just that performance, Not just that performance, my man. Not just that performance, but slowly but surely we've started seeing Dukes play, and you know what? I understand that he needs to gain the yards for us, but there are certain times where you either gain the yards or you need to pass the ball and not be that slow.
Look, that's even one of his, I wouldn't say his weaker points. Even when he played for the Stormers, I mean, I think that first season in 2015, he actually had the most offload stats.
Yes.
That was his stats. He had the most offloads of all. I'm talking about the Kiwi, Aussies, everyone played in competition.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line, when he became this full-on crash ball player, I do feel that it's taken away his vision for the game. So you can't say Duke doesn't have vision. I mean, even last week he won the game, but there was one pass on for the two-man overlap.
Yeah,
I do agree with you there.
I wouldn't say he doesn't have vision, but I'm just not feeling him in the position at the moment, and I feel he just needs to take himself back to find the player that he was, because I would want, yes, I would take a player that's going to gain me 3 meters, but I would also like a player that can gain me 10 by knowing when to pass the ball off. And there were certain points of the game. There were certain parts of the game when I sat here and I was like, my man, to the left. That's all you had to do. You had enough time, more than enough time. Instead of you gaining 2-3 meters for us, we could have gained 10-15 meters maybe. And that's what we want. And enough of that. The other thing is the kicking game just did not work for us under the high ball. What was going on there? Was this the game plan during the week? I don't know. But there were certain times where the All Blacks were amazing. Like, I don't know if you saw it. But there were times when I was like, why are we kicking the ball away? And you know what's the sad part about all of this is that out of that whole game, you always have that one and I'm going to call it out. If I get in trouble, it's fine, on SA Rugby Magazine's Facebook page, that says, oh, if Herschel Yankees didn't kick the ball away, we would have won the game. What guy? Excuse me? We had a whole game of kicking ball away, and you think of that one only. Moment. And it's always a on SA Rugby Magazine. I don't understand. I'm calling it out.
If you don't mention names, you can't get into trouble. I'm just saying.
Excuse me.
But if you don't mention names, you can't get into any trouble. So don't worry about that. But before I'm going to comment on Damien, I'm going to defend Damien here.
Yeah.
Don't you think maybe it's a system error? Well, hold on. It's a system error where these guys are so, you can say, coached to the point of being robots that all he knows when he takes the ball up is to actually just bash it up.
No.
And unfortunately, yes. But maybe the thing is, maybe his instinct has been coached out of him.
Yeah.
That is a possibility.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
seen it with Willem, how people are like, he's not the same schoolboy. We're like, yeah, he's not doing those elaborate.
He's matured well now, eh?
Excuse me?
He's matured well now.
Oh, he has. And you know what? He's not the razzle-dazzle player that you saw on high school, maybe, but he's the razzle-dazzle player of international rugby now.
And I think the school for me, for Damien, is that he knows when to use the flair.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to stick everyone every single time. He knows when to take it up. He knows when to kick. He knows when to actually, show a bit of flair and kick the inside out. So he mixes it up well. It's not every single thing that we normally saw with him playing for Western Province and Storm is going to step everyone in his spot.
Different game.
And I think that's where he mixes it quite a lot.
There's
and also
player there's one more player that we need to actually give props to as well, and he doesn't usually get it because hy wil nie vang nie, hy wil nie pass nie. You know, we always hear this of Willie Leroux, and one thing I've noticed when Willie comes on, he is very vocal, but he's also he's backed himself. It feels as if Willie has started to believe in himself again. He doesn't look like the player we were complaining about last year. And I need to take my hat off to Willie just for reading the game and being that. He's that guy that comes onto the field that doesn't ask for recognition, but deserves it, as well as the respect. And I feel he's done a lot to silence me, because I was also, getting angry at him with certain things. And you know what? I need to. And when I do see him, I think I'm going to try and give him the biggest hug I could ever give him and just say, thank you for believing in yourself. Thank you. And he deserves all the props, but he never asks for it. He's the person that does it. And the only time we hear about Willie is when he's doing bad and people complain that he needs to be dropped. So I need to once again take my hat off to Willie, and a message to the coaching staff. They need to get their act together, because the boys are always bearing the brunt, and I don't want to hear our coach coming up with excuses. I don't want us to be Ian Foster. I don't want our coach to be Alistair Coetzee. I don't want to hear, if we lost the game, that this was probably the best game of the year. Stop lying. Stop it. Because when I go on air, I'm going to put you out. Stop it.
I want to tune in for that one, but just to go back on Willie, I think also what helps is the fact that he's now the impact player, he's part of the bomb squad. All that pressure of starting isn't on him anymore.
Yeah.
So Willemse starts, and he knows he will come on for whatever role it might be.
Yeah.
And I think that's just less pressure on him as well. So he's accepted probably that, you know what, I'm in my golden years now. I'm heading towards my end. Damien is the main guy now, and I'm okay with that. I had my run. I won a World Cup. I won a Lion Series as next fullback. I won a championship. And this guy said, I'm going to groom it to the best of my ability.
Nice.
And I'm still going to contribute as best as I can to the team. So I think kudos to Willie for that.
Yeah.
Also, there's one thing that the All Blacks did well, and I'm going to take you back to the Irish series. There was one thing where they struggled badly. There was a driving war against Ireland. That's how they lost that series, to be honest.
Yeah.
Jason Naran of the Crusaders came in. I mean, it's a team that hasn't conceded a mauling try, I think, in like over 5 years, I think it's 6 years. And look, we got some traction sometimes with the ball, but we couldn't score off our best weapon.
Yeah.
And that's Jason Ryan's work. So credit to them for that. Ian Foster got his assistance. He's going to go through to the World Cup 2023. Guys, we haven't heard the news yet. Ian Foster is going to the World Cup. How that's going to work out, time will tell. We would know. Maybe we'll laugh about it now. We'll cry about it later when he actually wins the World Cup or kicks us out in the quarterfinal. Who knows? But yeah, I actually wanted to talk about Nino Albert, but you did that. You know what? I'm not going to
go ahead.
Yeah, look. No. I think we covered Nino Albert now, so that's sure. But I do want to mention this though. Don't you think that this draw of the championship, South Africa had it all for them? I mean, 2 matches at home against the All Blacks is what you won.
Yeah.
And the managers crew won it. So now the championship is like on a knife edge for one.
Yeah.
It's 1 win, 1 loss for everybody.
Yeah.
And bonus points might be the factor coming into the season.
Yeah.
So now you want to go, if you have to go to Australia, they're there now already. I think they landed today. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But they are in Australia now, and you have to go to a place you haven't won since 2013. That's scary.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they lose the next 2 tests, and Argentina is on red hot form.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be our worst championship in years.
It could be.
Because of one.
Michael Shaker.
So far back at the moment.
Yeah, Michael. Let's just congratulate Michael Shaker on a magnificent comeback against the Australian team. He obviously knows a lot more than what we know. So hopefully Jacques and Rassi gave him a call just to get some insight, and I hope that they do share those things with each other. Back to us, we've got a point to prove after last year. We've got a heavy point to prove. We lost against them at home, and now we're playing them again at home. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's so unfair. We played them home last year because we were in the bubble. Like, why are we playing? Guys, let's get over ourselves. We are not the say-all and end-all of rugby. And if we get them there, we as a team should just, we should know what the game plan is. I'm hoping, I am praying that we learned from our mistakes last year. And we've also watched what Michael did to the Australian team, because he completely cut them off. And I know it might be hard for us because psychologically we've just lost against the All Blacks. But I also hope that, how do I put this? That we haven't shot ourselves in the foot with the 34-man squad that we've taken. I hope
it's a large squad.
It's a large squad in line with World Cup regulations and all of those. We're not doing 43, but I feel, again, and I said this earlier with you, Dwayne should not have been given the opportunity to go with this team. Evan Roos should have been taken on this team. We are taking a gamble with certain players, and it might pay off. And I'm hoping to see Kwagga on the wing.
Well, it can. I think that's also the thing with the 6-2 split. I think that is their last resort insurance policy. They know Kwagga can play there if the shit really hits the fan. That's what it comes down to. Kwagga's going to play on the wing, and that's about it.
So I'm thinking Kwagga moving over to the wing. 69th minute, scores a try in the 75. Pollard converts. We win the game in Sydney.
If you talk about hybrid players, they treat them differently these days. Right?
There you go. So Angus, I've got something that I need to post to you. Dave Rennie has a lot to obviously prove as well. They want to stamp the authority. They lost against England. What do they have to do right against us, though? Because it's always we talking about, what we have to do right against them. But we also know Australia's at home. So and they've just come out of a heavy loss. What do they have to get right in their team? Because, hey, there's some problems happening there at the moment, brother.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you. I only saw the score and a bit of highlights, but I never watched the Argies game. I haven't actually had a lot of chance to watch TV, since I've been back from Joburg. But, honestly, I watched the England series quite tight, and I think where England beat them is where we are good at, that's in the forwards.
There you go.
So they're going to have to match us there first and foremost. And that's the first thing. Where they're dangerous is at the backs. They got some exciting freaking backline players, and it's huge guys. You go like Corum Betty, even Lolosio can break a game open. Quite Cooper's in the mix again. So I think where we got pulled out a couple of times is when teams actually attack well against us, and the All Blacks did that this past weekend. So if we're not defensively sound, we're gonna have to be making our tackles a point slip one.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they want to beat us. They want to play a quick game, and I'm sure that they'll come out firing, but. If we stick to our guns, if we play like we did in Mumobela, we'll easily win those matches.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we don't always click, and there's this inconsistency in the team, which I don't get.
Yeah.
You can't play like this the one week and the next week you're off. You have to back every performance up as far as you can. But unfortunately, we just don't see that at the moment, and it comes back to the selection and the changes we made on the replacements. I think had we made better selections, had we not replaced the guys as we did, shifting them around, we would have had a better structure on defense, and I think that's where we lost the game in the first place anyway. So, against Australia, I hope we make smart selection issues. I have no issue with the 6-2 split, by the way, but utilize it right.
Yeah.
No issues there.
I must
is insurance policy, so
I must say that the 6-2 split, the more we're utilizing it, the more we are seeing certain cracks in the 6-2 split wall. We're managing it, and we're putting plaster on it. But the thing is, how long is that plaster going to hold? Secondly, for a team that's prided themselves on defense for so long, and we take it back to when Rassie and Ninaba was at the club, which in Ireland, they were at Munster. Their defense was hard. Their defense was impenetrable. But what we are seeing at the moment is that people have, and I'm talking about people in means of coaches and the technical teams out there, they have seen the cracks that were always in our defense, and they are exploiting it now. And if Jacques is a defensive guru, let's not take that away from him. He is a very meticulous coach. He has studied the art or the dark arts of defense that a lot of us do not know about. But
World Cup final.
Yeah.
30 phases, no score.
There you go. And we need to understand that in any strategic plan, if we look back at wars that have been won, when people look at war tactics now, then they'll be like, oh, but if they did that, they would have broken that. And that is what people are seeing in our defense. They are seeing certain things, and I hope Jacques goes back to the drawing board with Sticks, with Davids, and they start pushing on those things where they know we have small problems. It's not the big things. It's the small cracks that are causing problems in our defense. And it's the players that are maybe not lining up with the defensive player, looking at the attacking player. Then at that moment, that lapse of concentration, it's literally a 2-second lap. And then you have someone like Sia, a player like Sia that has to try and defend. Why? It shouldn't be him only. There should be the other guys. It's always coming back. If you look at Damien, and I must take it back to Damien as well. When he tackled, when he chased Caleb Clark, right? The defense that he had, the way he took him down, stood up immediately, was basics, you know?
And go contest.
And then go contest for the ball. When last have we seen a dynamic player like that quick on defense, but then trying to attack the ball again and going for it? And it's these small things in lapse of concentration. It goes back, and I don't like, I'm not a Nas fan. Don't ever quote me on this, but Nas will always be like, play your basics. Play your basics. If you play your basics, then everything else will be in order. And there are certain things that are not being done. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I mean, like you mentioned this now, I mean, you can, if your roof is leaking, it's still leaking. And you can put a mop there, but until you actually fix the hole, you're going to have a wet house. That's just the reality. So, definitely. But I think also for the Springboks, you know, they have this tendency before World Cups where they don't always play that well and tend to win most their test matches of half of it at least. And in the World Cup year, they tend to peak. So hopefully this is the case again. And maybe they're just experimenting some stuff. But also, I don't think you should experiment with the All Blacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's certain times you experiment. There are certain times you experiment. But I think that with the evolution of rugby at the moment, though, Angus, is the fact that when is the right time? Because if you look at the other teams that you are playing against, when we do play Wales, Wales has been playing Six Nations for a few months. The team has gelled. They take us on. We try to experiment with 14 changes. Public was crying that they wanted it. Public was crying that they wanted to see blood in the teams. I feel it was a coaching error to do a full 14-man change against that Welsh team in the second test, whereas we should have gradually done it.
It wasn't just 14, eh? It was 19 overall.
There you go.
The match day squad.
There you go.
So only 4 guys survived. That's such a shitload of changes.
So for me is, when do you really get the chance to do these changes? Because the way teams are going up, and I take it back, and we look at sevens. Would we have thought a few years back that we'll see Kenya contesting for series wins? No. So when do you start?
But
you get
what I
think
Ireland it's probably the team you have to look at. You know, Ireland sevens, they came from nothing and they're now like a top 5 team, I think.
There you go. So the thing is, when do you actually get to do that? That's why you cannot do large testing of who the team is going to be in the next year. It needs to be gradually. That is why, again, Jasper, Evan on the bench. Perfect. Take Dwayne with, if you have to. Take Dwayne with. Then play Dwayne.
It's called
Play Dwayne in the second test against Australia. Play Dwayne in one of the games against Argentina. Let him get match fit. We're going to need him the end of the year when we play against the Irish on the 5th of November. We're definitely going to need him there. We don't know if he's going to play, but we need him. We need these guys when we go to the North. So why are we forcing him to come out of injury, only to find out maybe down the line he gets injured? and then we sit out
And now
without.
there's another issue as well. Sorry, yeah?
No, you were saying?
I'm saying now there's another issue we forget about, and that is in a year tour, we're going to have to play England without our internationals.
Yeah.
So are we going to use, there's going to be no Jasper, there's going to be no Duane. What about Eva now? You're going to have to play him against England, probably as a starter. Or you use Ulrich. Ulrich is not the 8 I like. I like him, but I think it's more of a 7, to be honest. Or do you play Marcel Coetzee there as well? Who wasn't all that great against Wales.
No.
I mean, even hasn't have any much experience. He got 1 match. And he's probably gonna have to play against England now later this year because all the other 8s are overseas.
Yeah. And then what that means is that when we get these young players and we haven't birthed them into the position and we throw them at the, at the end, the deep end of it, what then happens is the moment overwhelms them. It overwhelms them, and they do not perform as the player we know. We know there's a difference between, like we used to say back in the day, Super Rugby to international, and there was the likes of Kerwin Bosch. Kerwin came in with the Sharks, did magnificently well when it came to Super Rugby, but that step up to international just wasn't for him. Was it because he was thrown into the deep end, or was he not talented? I'm not here to discuss that. But now you have a player like Evan, where we can gradually give him the 10 minutes in each game to show us what he can do until he comes and he starts owning that space, and he is the number 8 that we've been looking for. Because clearly the boy is not made of sticks. He's made of stone. Like, come on. He's got the talent.
We know the guy, he's huge.
He's got the talent. Why are we not birthing him? And I sound like I'm part of the Evan train. There's going to be someone in Pretoria calling me out again. But we leave it to him because he's playing for me. But the thing is, this is the problem that I have. We are too arrogant. We think that Duane is going to have the same impact he had in the World Cup final against England. No, he's not. He's not. I don't see it. But I do see him as an amazing mentor for these guys. Because if I look at Jasper's learned a lot from him. A lot. So what can Evan even learn with what he's been doing? And now we're going to have this problem, like you say, against England, where we don't have certain internationals available because their club won't release them. They're outside of the World Rugby, regulated time period. Yeah. And there's no way of agreeing because the English teams that are controlling these boys, the French teams that are controlling these boys, are not going to let them out. The English would rather be like, send a memo to all the clubs and say, you're not going to let them play. But you guys will play.
Yeah.
So for me,
it's not a case. I think we would have done the same thing anyway.
No, we would have. I don't think we're that selfish in South Africa, but yeah.
You never know.
You never know, brother. You never know. So for me, and it's going to be sad. I don't want to see my boy Evan being thrown in at the deep end and then everyone attacking him after that. Because then I'm going to blame.
That's my concern as well. I mean, some guys can do it. I mean, Oshie had an awesome debut, no problem, man of the match performance. But it's not going to happen for every single person.
No,
and unfortunately, the public is unforgiving. You have one bad game and all of a sudden you shit player.
Hey,
that's just how it is.
That's just how it is. That is why I retired when I was in high school. And I rather went to go.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, that's why. I just couldn't take it.
The limelight is for all of us, right? But I mean, you touched on sevens earlier. We started this tournament with the Springbok sevens. I even got the jacket on here.
Yeah,
the Springbok sevens started this tournament, I think 5 in a row. Title looks like it's one hand on the trophy. Happy days.
Yeah.
And then they just went into the slump. I think they lost 4 on the bounce. And then they went into the Commonwealth Games. Beat Fiji with I think it's a record score, to be honest. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
They beat Fiji comprehensively. And now they're on a high again. They got 1 tournament to win this series. That's all they need. This is the last one. It's going to happen, I think, in just over a week. I think mentally the guys are where they need to be.
Yeah.
But this is also a good curtain raiser for them, I feel. If they can get over this hurdle, small hurdle, but still important, win the series, I think mentally they'll be up for it on the World Cup.
Yeah.
And it's going to be at home. You're going to be there. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the guys showing things, come this tournament and also the World Cup coming up as well?
Yeah, so 2-point lead at the moment. I think we're just ahead of Australia, if memory serves me correct. The other guys, Australia, Argentina, Ireland, they can still take it as well. Spoke to Zane Davids a few weeks back. Mentality of the team has changed. Yeah. Lots of speculation within media that at the time when we had the dip, they were busy talking about finances that were not secured by SA Rugby to pay these boys, and that played a major role in it. The other major aspect of it, which certain media tried to utilize, but I don't think it was the major factor, is that Coach Neil Powell is leaving. He's been at the helm for about 10 years now, but I don't think that was a major effort, because he's been explaining to these boys for a while now that he's looking at moving up in his career. And it's the same as them, that when they come to a certain age, they don't have the speed, they don't have the tactic for it. And the likes of Kwagga that then fits perfectly into the 15 after he's honed his skills there. You can only do so much in certain things. So for me, I feel it was a money thing, and it's not taking it away from the boys. From what I've heard and spoken to people about, Sevens guys don't get paid that much. They do not get paid that much, yet they've been one of the most successful teams, rugby teams, for us nationally for the last 5 to 10, 15 years. Right? So they deserve that they need to get. And that was just unfortunate. 28th, 29th, we're in Los Angeles. We've got one more game to finish. We're coming off strong off that Commonwealth Games, which a lot of people thought, guys, you haven't been doing that well. It's Malaysia. It's a bit of a Scotland here. Then we were like, okay, these guys, look what's happening here. Came to the final, and first half, we were like, okay, are we the only team playing here? What's going on? Yep. Most amazing thing was not winning a gold medal. The most amazing thing for this Commonwealth Games was seeing Neil Powell smile. For the first time in my life, I saw Neil Powell smile. Right? That's what I talked about. I had Zane on my show a few weeks ago with his gold medal. Wow, that thing is heavy, guys. If you ever get a chance to take a photo with a gold medal, run with it. So must sidestep and take it home with you. He said that the thing is, they went for continuity. If you look at the team that was announced before the games, they had the likes of Mani Lebok in there and Siabela Senatla. What they had was, they had a meeting and they decided that they're going to go with the tried and tested. They're going to go with the guys that have proven themselves on the circuit, and that's what they did. They went with the guys. It's unfortunate that Saviwe got injured, but that's the nice thing about our team at the moment, is that we have a structure and a team of constant professionals that have been there for years that just slips in. And there was no disruption in the team. You get this thing that if Sia were to be injured, now you have to bring someone in. It causes a bit of a disruption. But if you have someone like Zane Davids that's been in the structure for so many years, and the amount of respect the players had for him, it made it so much easier for them to just move him into the captain position and move in another player, because these guys have been playing with each other for so long. It's not where we had to bring in, like we did years ago with Herschel, with Brian Abana. Why are we doing that? Sometimes I don't understand, but I also get it that some players want to win that medal. But every time we've done that, it hasn't worked. So what did Coach Neil Powell do now? He saw his team that played consistently on the HSBC 7 circuit. Yes, HSBC, I mentioned you there. He played them through the circuit on the series, and he trusted them. He showed them faith. He said, guys, I have faith in you guys. You have a plan. There's a lot to prove. You guys were on a high. You went on a dip. Everyone was calling for your heads. It's the same like the All Blacks. Their backs were against the wall and they had a lot to prove. World Cup, it's at home. World Cup is at home. Lots of people are going to say that, oh, but remember when you guys were playing and winning, Fiji and New Zealand were not there. Not our fault. Unfortunately, that's their own thing that they didn't want to send the teams. We saw an opportunity, we took advantage of it. With this World Cup, it is totally different. We need to understand that it's not the same tournament structure that it is with everything else. The tournament structure is you have to win each and every game. And if you win each and every game, you're going to end up... Excuse me?
No, I wanted to mention this actually, but thanks for bringing it up. One loss and you're out.
World Cup, every win different. So the first 8 teams, they need to progress to the last so that they can actually play us in the next section of it. Same with the females. So the thing is, our concentration levels needs to be on high alert. If we don't get this right and we lose one game, we are out. But we also don't want to disappoint. They also don't want to disappoint the home team, because if we look at it, the home of sevens rugby in South Africa is Cape Town. So lots of pressure that's going to be on the boys. Lots of pressure. Fiji has always done really well here in Cape Town. But if there's one team that I am thinking might just make it to the finals, it's the USA.
And I can. I mean, they've been a top team for a long time now. I think the most successful Cape Town team at the moment is actually New Zealand. I mean, the only final we won was in 2015.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. They have this monkey on their back. They play Cape Town, they make finals, or they get knocked out in the semi, and it's been a recurring theme now. I think the last game they played against All Blacks, the last 7-5, it was that sort of margin, the misconversion. So there's one monkey that they have to get off their back, but I mean, what better way to do it in the World Cup? You know,
and at home.
What better way to do it? Monkey, send the coach up with the biggest prize you could get, and just make it a memorable day. So
I think
a lot of pressure on the boys, obviously, but I think that they can actually make it if they just stick to their structures. And sorry,
yeah.
You wanted to say something?
No, lots of people not calling it though, but I'm gonna call it. It is the year of the treble when it comes to sevens.
Huh?
Yeah. So
I wouldn't say it's not.
Yeah, no, Commonwealth Games, HSBC 7 Series, World Series, which we could win, and World Cup in 1 year. We haven't had this in a long time where we were clear favorites for this. Clear favorites for this. So yes, there is a lot of pressure, and we are going to put a lot of pressure on the team because they are that kid in school that we expect to get an A+ every single time. And I think we've just we've this is the amount of pressure that comes with this game as well. And I think Coach Neil Powell has found the right team. I'm hoping I'm not sure how the injury is on Sozwape, so I don't know if you know anything as yet. I'm hoping to get an update. I'm hoping to get an update in the next few days on him as well. And I'm hoping to see our captain there because we do need him on the field. We do.
Yep. Yeah, he's an integral part of the team. I mean, his leadership for one, but I mean, just the way he plays on the wing is, he's not flashy, but damn, he can do a good job.
Yeah.
And he knows what to do and when to do it right. So we do need his leadership and experience on the wing as well. Yeah, but you know, coming back to what you said earlier, I think also it's a good thing. I mean, these guys, they call themselves a band of brothers, and that's what they are.
Yeah.
They are such a tight-knit group. And I mean, we saw in 2016, they brought in a Frans van Hoogaard, that Johan de Jong, they had a Brian Banner. I mean, these guys wanted to win the medal, but I think it disrupted the team dynamic so much.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost because Kwagga couldn't fucking see there's an overlap against Great Britain. But I think if we made that final, Fiji would have killed us the way they played. Anyway.
Yeah.
But in saying that, you know, I think just for the case of, or for the sake of synergy, brotherhood, and you know, these guys just knowing each other inside out, keep the guys that are there.
Yeah.
Trust them, because you send a bad message out to these guys in the system, you bring out someone from outside, you know. So I think credit to the coaches for realizing their mistake. I hope the 15th guys can do the same.
Yeah.
And actually implementing that going forward. So kudos to Neil Powell and the management as well.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Anything else you want to add before we wrap this one up? Oh yeah, one more thing. Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, kudos to our women's 15 side as well. You know, the Spain.
Stanley Robbenheimer.
Yeah, Stanley. Well done to Coach Stanley. 44-5 at Ellis Park. I saw a glimpse of the match. I think I saw the second half. It also means they beat Japan away as well. That's the first foreign victory for them as well. So they are definitely
Yeah.
And I think just a shout out to the women's sevens, after this women's Springbok team. They're making moves now, and hopefully they can go from student to trainings year onwards as well.
No, definitely. And the nice thing is that we've got a specialist high performance manager now that's been put in place for our women's team. And we congrats to FNB as well for coming on board and actually backing our ladies by putting money into the team. And I think that's what we need to see. We need to start seeing our ladies team becoming contractually employed by SA Rugby, so that they don't have to, only be those that are at university or those that are able to still have an income outside of the game. They should be, as Babal Walacha, professional and just be, that is their job. So kudos to Coach Stanley Robbenheimer, firstly for pulling off the win against Japan, which we struggled against before. It was quite historic. Secondly, against Spain, who we lost to not too long before this as well. They are ahead of us on world rankings, so this pushes it up. One thing I am disappointed though, from a logistic point of view, and I mentioned this to you before, Angus, off this chat, is that when our international boys go and play tests, we are in the other countries for quite a long time when it comes to a once-off test. Like we will be in the UK at least 2 weeks before the time. I'd love to see our women's teams when they go and play the likes of Japan, who is in a different time zone completely. We give them at least the financial backing of putting them there 2 weeks before the time and not a week before the time, so that they can acclimatize, so that they can train, because those factors, they play a huge role when these ladies go there. I don't know if you know this, but when you look at some of the photos of the girls that are in this team, they are in Stellenbosch, in dorms, sharing with each other. And those beds don't look that comfortable. They don't. When last have we seen a player that plays for the Springboks sleeping in a dorm? We haven't. So it needs to come to a point. No, they've got Egyptian cotton, 10,000 thread, Cullinan Hotel. We're not mincing our words here. We're not going to mince our words. So
great hotel to stay at.
Excuse me?
No, it's a great hotel to stay at. I've been there before.
So what I know
why they stay there now.
What I would like to see is, I'd like to see sponsors coming on board, putting more money into our women's teams, so that our women and yeah, people are going to be like, oh, but there's poor people. I'm not taking that away. What I am saying is that these ladies are doing so much for us. We should be looking after them the same way we put the Springboks on a pedestal. We know where we place the Springboks. The Springboks are the pinnacle when it comes to sporting achievements in this country. And if we want our ladies to go that way, we need more money from corporate. We need SA Rugby to back our ladies more. And we know they can find it. I know they can find the money, so that we can give everything to Stanley Robbenheimer. Then, that's not taking away from Paul Dalport. Paul Dalport needs as much support as they are giving to Neil Powell. They need to do that. And when we start doing that, and when we start pushing for sevens rugby in schools, we're not going to find someone that was doing athletics for 3 years, and because that wasn't working, they're just stepping over, and we're going to teach them how to catch a ball. That's not how it needs to work. We need to get girls in the team that's been playing for years, that's playing at varsity level, have a varsity tournament. If we can put so much money into certain other things, why can't we put money into our sevens ladies team as well? So we need them, we need government, we need corporates to come more on board and put more money into it, so that we are not just the champions in men's 15, but and the sevens, HSBC World 7 Series winners. We are a women's core team. So Umbukodo has not qualified. We were in Chile. It's unfortunate, right? But if we can get them as a core team and have all four teams playing on international tier 1 level, we as South Africa will be the core sporting nation of the world. That is what will happen.
Spot on. So, yeah, she's quite right there, Lorenzo. And you know what? I think that the good thing is, I think Sara came out and they said that they are looking to include, I think it's 2 URC women's teams.
Yeah.
I mean, that's massive progress. That's massive progress.
That's and I province think, and border.
Yeah. So if there's a bit of a step up, you know, from the women that play provincially, they can play, you know, let's say for the Stormers ladies or the Bulls ladies or Lions, whoever you might be. It might even be a mixture of 2 provinces. I don't even care, to be honest. As long as these women get exposure and they get tested at the high level. I mean, we got the Bawa now. I think she's exited, right? There's a couple of women who made it professionally, but it's too little of them. And unfortunately, finances play a big part. I mean, I listened to, I think it was the final whistle during the week after the test match. Coach Daniel was on it and he said, you know, what people don't see, you see how they see, yeah, but sometimes they can't catch the ball or they're not fit enough, but they don't see that these girls go and they have day jobs. Some of them have to take taxis and the dangerous areas late at night. They make, sorry for you, they make a shitload of sacrifices. Yeah. And if they, like you said, if they get paid on a, not I'm saying the same as the men, but enough to be professional and get training 4 to 5 times a week, they play on the stand. They don't have to worry about another source of income. We can see a women's team that can actually dominate. Because the thing about this country is there's no lack of talent. There's a shitload of lack of resources, and that's the issue.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we need to get those that are always talking the big game, the guys with the checkbooks that are you know, that are at the game week in, week out. We need them to come on board. We need them to push, and we need them to see the potential, because the potential is there, Angus. The potential is there. Yeah. And I just hope and pray that it's within my lifetime that I switch on the TV one day, or I take my phone out and I see the headline, Mark Alexander hands women's central contracts to our Springbok women.
I don't think it's that far off, to be honest.
Let's just say that I might know a thing or two, and I'll tell you again about it.
I was good. Guys, if I ever told you anything on inside info, there's my source. I spilled on him now. Pagans.
Well, I'm hoping that it's in my lifetime. I hope it's in my lifetime.
Yeah, same story.
We'll come back.
Look, man, it's been an amazing chat. We didn't even plan for this long. It was just like, you know, we just like went with it.
And that's a love.
I thought it was going to be like a 15-minute chat. I'm sure we're close to an hour already.
So people need to let us know. Let us know if you want more of these. Let us know. And what their input, be able to get more players on board as well. So guys, if you are tuned in, please let Angus know. I'm not going to give his cell phone number. 071 286. No, I'm joking. That's not Angus's cell phone number. But let Angus know, and it gives us more leverage to be able to get some of the players on board, and you know, then we can have in-depth discussions, get some of the coaches also, you know, touch on what is going to happen and what did happen. So yeah, please get in touch with Angus, get in touch with myself. Let us know who you want to see, and we'll try and get it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I tried to get a couple of guys on board today, but this is the guy's literally last minute thing.
Yeah.
I messaged this guy this afternoon. He's like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Trying to make a couple of calls and messages, but it's very last minute, and I understand, you know, guys they have things to do. So, but I think in future, we want to see more of us chatting online and being live, you know. I think we're going to make it maybe a monthly thing. It could be a weekly thing. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
But for now, you know, for those who tuned in, thanks so much. We appreciate that you watched with us. You could have done anything, but you were here tonight. So thanks for that, guys. Lorenzo, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. What a chat, eh?
Absolute pleasure. It gets lost when the two of us stare into each other's eyes like this.
Don't get it up now.
Thanks so much, brother. You have a wonderful evening. I need to eat the sack. I'm on breakfast radio tomorrow morning, 6 to 9 a.m. on Good FM. So yeah, tune in if you can, and then I'm back on the afternoon drive again. Try to bring you some updates on what's happening in the sporting world.
Yo, look at the advertising.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
have a wonderful evening.
From our side, adios.
Yes.
Cheers.